Adam Bierman, Breezin with Bieerman. It's January, a new year. I'm wearing a tie. Hi, you're Sandra Jordan, right?
Yes.
I think I know you. And I'm very excited. we're getting Princeton subject this month. Lauren Lepre, the great Lauren Lepre. Why do I get better ratings? 2 words, Lauren Lepre. And maybe me, because I'm smart enough to let him be on the show. Anyway, he's busy. It's Christmas. He's doing his things in Philadelphia. And we have 2 guests today. We have, can you pronounce her name?
Okay, I can pronounce the first name for sure. The last name, Veronique Cardon.
No. In fact, I'm using my maiden name.
Cardon.
Because my married name is so unpronounceable that very early in my career I decided to use my maiden name, which is Cardon.
Cardon.
So,
And how do you pronounce
in French, Tastenois.
Tastenois.
In America, Tastenoy.
That's how I learned.
Yes.
Maybe he said it that way.
Yes.
I didn't know that Detroit was Detroit. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Anyway,
so
getting back. And
Veronique Cardon. No, Veronique Cardon.
Don't be serious.
Author of the Cognidiet book.
And then
and a lot of other things.
Then we're also going to have in the second segment Jennifer Weiss, whose father, she thinks we'll find out, is the famous serial killer, the Times Square butcher, Richard Cottenham, and the person she partnered with, Peter Veronsky, who wrote a book, The Sons of Cain, but we're getting to them next. And now I'll let my wife, I shouldn't have said that, but she is my wife, but she's Sandra Jordan, take the lead. She's the one who got this guest. We're very lucky to have Veronique Cardon.
Veronique Cardon. Okay, yes. So as I was saying, well, let's start with asking you a few questions for the audience to get to know you. So you've been here, you said, for almost 25 years,
yes.
Coming from Normandy.
Yeah, coming from Normandy and Belgium because I was working and living in Belgium and Brussels. But yes, originally from Normandy and France, yes.
And currently you have a place where you meet your clients to talk about all these science of well-being.
Yeah, I mean, I had a change of career in 2013 and I decided to veer from being a pharmaceutical executive, which has a lot to do with health, which was very useful, to gaining a master's degree in nutrition and then to help people eat better for their health. But most of the people who come to see you come for weight loss.
And the book that you have published, we have here, the Cognidiet.
Weight loss starts in your brain.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes. Okay. Well, so let me say a little bit about myself because that will explain why did she go with the Cognidiet and the brain. First of all, I'm a nerd. I'm an engineer by training. But a few years ago in 2006, I really went through a very serious, severe depression and anxiety episode. I fell apart after years and years of extreme stress.
High-powered pharmaceutical person in New York.
High-level job, commuting to New York, which if you commute sometime to New York, you know how hard it is.
16-hour days, work.
Yes. Very ambitious and very committed and so forth, and not willing to listen to the signs of my body. So, as my doctor said, I broke my brain at one point. And this is when I started to say, okay, I have to heal my brain. It's like a muscle that needs love and attention. You go for physical therapy when you break your leg. So what can I do to heal my brain? So with the help of my doctors and pharmaceutical products, I have to say, I started to run like every day, but I also started to learn meditation. And it really helped heal my brain, and certainly in many ways, because my ability to sustain stress now, to live without medication, to start a business, which is in its own ways very stressful. But I haven't had a panic attack since 2006. This is like 12 years now. So I became absolutely certain that I was able to really change my brain.
It says here, though, you would gain 25 to 30 pounds, increased cholesterol, constant fatigue, diagnosis of ovarian cancer. This stressful
Oh, yeah.
job.
I was also not taking care of myself the way I should have taken care of myself. So ovarian cancer happened earlier in 2001, but that should have been a wake-up call because I was a miracle that they took everything away and I never had, any chemo or anything.
17 years now. They still watch you, but 17 years.
Yeah,
very lucky.
I was cured when they took it. I was very, very lucky because it was caught very early on.
And when you gain weight, it was because
The stress.
It was the stress, or it was also the fact that you have an hysterectomy, and that
No,
caused
I don't think it has to do with
No?
this. I think it had to do with the fact that my all my life was devoted to work and my family. And as many women, I was not paying attention to myself. I was always coming the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a I had a culinary cultural shock when I came into the U.S. because
Because we eat garbage? No.
well, because I have this on my
Huge amounts.
website. You see pictures of me and my kids and my husband in front of the White House in '95, and we look we are young, we look gorgeous, right? Then you see me 5 years later. I have gained at least 20 to 30 pounds because we landed in Atlanta, so I started to eat portions that were double, triple the size.
We see in Europe.
And you don't pay attention. And drinking Coca-Cola, I had never drunk cola in my life. All those things put together.
You got caught up in the bad habits of the U.S.
Yes,
eating.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But also all the processed food, which is not natural. So that disrupts your entire, metabolic system. Mm-hmm.
And you were too busy working to really think about it.
And then you add to this the stress, because stress makes you fat, because it elevates your cortisol level, which in turn elevate your glucose level, which in fact now you can correlate elevated glucose level on a chronic basis with onset of type 2 diabetes.
Wow. So they can really make empirical evidence this is stress related.
And I say to the audience, if you feel like you really are paying attention to what you eat and you have a hard time losing weight, but you're super stressed, you have the answer. But also stress hijacks your logical brain, and when you're stressed, you also have all those physiological things going on in your body that are going to make you crave for a cookie because your brain thinks you've been fighting or flighting, when in fact you've been stuck in a boring meeting or having a very stressful discussion with somebody or being stuck in traffic. Mm-hmm. So your brain thinks this woman is a ninja. She has been fighting like a warrior. I need to give her some energy.
Going back to our primeval days.
So you're going to go for sugar, for glucose. You're not going to go for salad if you're stressed.
Right.
So what I do is also, with my client, I tell them, it's not always, you feel guilty. I don't have willpower, I'm a failure.
We see that with a lot of people.
Right? I am not capable of losing weight. But then when you, but sometimes when you start to explain, this is why this is happening to you, and there is a solution, then people say, okay. Oh, I never knew this. Wow, no, I have a solution.
There's a roadmap out of this.
Yes, there's a roadmap.
And it's not all your fault, but now we can do something about it, though,
yes,
too.
Yes,
and it's also, it also, people have to understand that it's not going to go the same way that that the weight was gained in a period of time.
Yes.
The losing of the weight is going to take a period of time.
Oh, yeah, I love your question. Thank you so much, Sandra, because people have been unable to lose, let's say, 40 pounds for 20 years.
Yeah, you heard
and then they go and they say, I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm exaggerating, right? But the diet industry has created those expectations. You look at the ads, with supplements, with special meals, with whatever. But I always use this analogy. In your brain, there is, let's say, an old man who is seated on a pile of golden nuggets. And all the golden nuggets are your pounds of fat. And we were engineered to retain fat to survive famine.
Right.
And it's not so long ago that we had really to fight for survival, right?
Yeah, less than 2,000 years.
Yes, exactly. So when when you take a lot of the golden nugget at once, the old man is feeling that the pile is going down and goes into alert mode. You know, red light, beep, beep, beep. I have to replenish my coffer. So you lose 25 pounds. He's going to make sure you regain 30.
That's why the biggest loser always gains back.
Yeah, well, they were even sued, yes. Yeah. They sued the show to say that they regained, because in fact what they did also is, not getting too technical, they completely destroyed their appetite control with leptin level and so forth. Right. So, but to go back to the old man, if you steal one golden nugget at one time, he will not really realize so much is going. So the only way to lose weight and to keep it off is to go slowly.
Slowly.
And I always have to say, when people come to me, I only lost 1 pound this week, I said, bravo. It's amazing that you lost 1 pound. I mean, 1 pound is still a lot of, it's a lot. And go slowly, but go surely.
But it's not only it's not only the diet. It has to always be combined with exercise.
Heart, mind, and body. She says.
Well, it's the mind, the heart, and the body. So initially, when I started as a nutritionist, I was really focused on teaching about nutrition, calories, and so forth. And I had mitigated results, but then I realized I had a couple of clients who were sticking with me and with whom I engaged in a form of cognitive behavioral therapy sessions.
CBT.
Or, you know, really rewiring their brain to think differently about food and so forth. And they got amazing results. So I decided to learn CBT. I'm not a psychotherapist.
CBT, for those, can you, what is
Cognitive behavioral therapy, which is, in fact, the definition is that, you know, our thoughts are controlling what we do. So if I think that I am ugly, the chances are that, you know, I will do nothing to look pretty, or if I'm not going to get this parking space, I'm not going to get it. You know, I want this interview. I'm going to get that job. I will survive. I will be successful.
Is that where the diary comes in? Or
yes, you have to do a lot of writing. And if you know, if you have a lot of what's called the sabotaging thoughts, like I'm a failure, I will never lose weight, this is going on in your brain. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think you will never succeed, you will not succeed. So, and what I do with my program is focus on all the positive. Every individual has strengths and skills and talents that you need to use to help you succeed, including in weight loss. So it's a kind of a self-discovery method.
I have never been overweight. I understand that that people are, as I was saying, they didn't get overweight, they went to bed, and the next day they are 300 pounds. It's slowly, right? It's slowly. So at the same time, I think that they have to realize you're not gonna lose it that fast. It's gonna be a slow process. But I think that people get a little antsy about that, and if it doesn't happen in the 2 weeks, then they say it's not gonna happen, and they completely change.
That's a very American thing too.
Yes,
they
want the instant thing.
Yeah.
The instant thing, yeah. And the exercise too. They get enrolled in the gym. They buy the leggings and all the equipment. They go for a couple of weeks, and combined with not losing the weight that they want to lose and all that, they stop instead of thinking, maybe I have never been in the gym before, really. What about just starting 3 times a week and give myself half an hour, and half an hour, and that consistency will be more helpful than trying to be in the treadmill every day for an hour and then try to do this, or that, right?
Well, this is usually what happens with New Year's resolution. You know, people people gain really 8 to 12 pounds during the holiday season, and they never really lose it. This is the number one reason why Americans are gaining weight every year. It's because you never lose what you gain at the end of the year. So the best results I got in my clinical trial was the group that started in September, because they went over the whole holiday season.
Already
and they were totally in control. And we got excellent success. So if you can control what you're doing during the holiday season, you can control what you do the whole year long.
And is it writing what you have eaten, or
No,
what is that you
no.
put in that
Okay.
journal to help?
So what we do is a 12-week program, and it's a combination of nutritional education, exercise education, and being able every week to take stock of what worked, what didn't work, what changed, what didn't change. We start with creating a vision board, because this really comes to CBT. You know, you have to have a vision of who you want to become, and visualization is very important in this program, because that's one way also to put your brain into a positive mode. And then you have to write your goals. What I do is we don't put you on a specific diet or whatever, but based on science, we calculate the number of calories you should be eating. We have a lot of exercises. We visually look at portion, because we don't have the time to always calculate the calories. Some people like to do it, but most people don't. So being able to visualize what you have in your plate is very important. So we do a lot of that.
You actually sit there and visualize how you want your plate to look, how you're going to eat it.
Yes. And then also understanding, you know, that calories count, but if you get your calories mostly from protein, from fat, or from carbohydrates, they're going to behave differently in your body. So you have to be careful with the way you mix it. And there are different schools of thoughts with the ketogenic diet, which is high fat, and, you know, and so forth, right? So they get the basics about what they need to know, but also give them the basic about exercise. Why do you need muscle? Muscle mass is burning 3 times more calories than fat mass. I have a special scale at the office that does your body composition, and it's always an aha moment when these people get on the scale and they realize that even if they look good sometimes, they have a 40% of body fat.
Wow.
So that is usually a pretty
A wake-up
call. So it's the quantity of what you eat, is when you eat it. Like if you don't burn your carbohydrates within like a few minutes to 2 hours when you've eaten them, it goes immediately into fat. It's becoming fat. So if you have a very high carbohydrate dinner, and then you go to sleep.
Carbohydrates like spaghetti, bread?
Yeah, like a lot of the big spaghetti with a lot of wine and add some bread.
Yeah.
Then when you go to the gym the next morning, you're going to burn the fat you accumulated the night before. I'm exaggerating, but it's almost like so. There's a lot of education. Chapter 2 is about sugar. All the things
because
sugar
everything
does to you.
has sugar.
Processed sugar is evil?
And sugar is sugar, okay? So,
Oh, really? Really? Sugar cane?
I mean, sugar cane, honey, it's better to have sugar cane and honey, but all
It's still
sugar is sugar.
It's still a fruit has
And
sugar.
what people also don't know is carbs, like white bread and pasta and so forth, becomes glucose in your blood as well. So it's equal to sugar.
It's equal to sugar.
So some people are addicted to pure sugar with the pastry, the candies, the ice cream, but some people are addicted to sugar through bread and pasta and so forth.
And now that this trend has come of these fruta bowls, and then people are thinking that they are eating only fruit, and that is a big injection of everything.
Fruit is very fruit is very high in sugar. Yes,
It's
and of course
big.
it's
I
big.
cannot finish that.
Yes.
And they put this kind of paste of coconut and banana and the peanut butter, and it's enormous. I think that I eat that and I won't eat until the next day because thank God that's how I am.
Yes.
If I see a plate full of food, I don't feel like eating.
That stuff was built for lumberjacks who need all those carbs because they're cutting down trees.
I don't like
when you have a big load of carbohydrates or sugar, you're supposed to go, to work as a lumberjack or go running or go something.
Or play basketball.
Otherwise, you're going to go into a sugar coma.
Yeah, Bobby Knight, a famous coach, would have his team eat spaghetti before the game.
Yes.
But they were going to play for 2 hours.
Because it's easy to digest, and then you're playing.
For
so
2 hours.
Yes.
2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we eat too much
of
the wrong food, and then we stay on our computers all day long. So of course we're getting fatter.
Right,
so
right.
It's getting epidemic, though. 38% of this country is obese. Pediatric diabetes is sky high. It's going to cost us a lot of money. Fatty liver. We're literally killing ourselves. The most prosperous country with so much food, we're killing ourselves with the food we have.
Yeah. And also, you know, it's not just carrying too much fat and all the health issues that are related to that. Diabetes, cardiovascular issues, even Alzheimer's disease is now somewhat related to, yes. But it's also your ability to function, your ability to work. I mean, when people get on the sugar detox, they're like, they are a new person. Their energy, their brain power, their ability to focus. They say, oh my God, I didn't realize I was kind of a zombie on all this sugar. So your performance is, and also your expectation for a long, productive life. I want to be able to run when I'm 90.
Right.
You know?
And why not?
So
if you have this plan.
That's my plan. That's my vision.
Well,
so, you know, I'm inspired by my family. On my family, people live as centenarians, but they were very, very active.
Right.
So
because the culture here also doesn't help. There's no public transportation that is never going to leave you.
We're talking about the Princeton area.
Yeah, they're never going to leave you at the door where you want to go, but you will have to walk. So that doesn't exist here. The people want to park right in front. They don't. Everybody's in the car.
It's convenience before anything else.
Right. Everything takes too. I mean, you take too long to get from one place to the other. Then everybody's stressed out.
I noticed too.
But this is my soapbox. You know, I really started the Cognidiet, and I do other things with brain health and so forth, because it's mostly women. But I want really people to take charge of their health and their brain health.
But you're also showing them a way.
I'm helping, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else. You know, you can find somebody to cut your grass, clean your house, do your finance, even teach your kids or take care of your kids. But nobody's going to take care of your house. You have to take care of it. And you have to take the time to do it. You have to take the time to exercise. You have to take the time to cook or to eat healthy, because what we eat, we are what we eat and what we do. Our body is, you know, a representation of our lifestyle.
I have I know a person who is who exercise and is disciplined. She does it, and she eats as healthy as possible, and she hardly ever eats out. But with the changes that we women experience, you know, it seems that the hormones play a big part. So what do we tell people, women particularly, middle-aged women, when all this horrible health process starts?
So first of all, I have hope, because I have hope for you girls, because when I did my clinical trial, the average age was 56, 40 women. So that was also, I have to say, courageous to do a clinical trial with 56-year-old women, because it's more difficult to lose weight as we age. And I had the biggest losers in the trial were women in their 70s. Wow. So my message is never too late.
Wow.
Okay?
Right.
But what happens is that when we get menopause, our hormones are working against us. The fact that we're losing everything, estrogen, progesterone, even testosterone. So this affects our muscle mass. We lose muscle mass, so we have to be very disciplined at preserving or building our muscle mass. A lot of women do only cardio. They don't pay attention. I have a lot of skinny fat on my special scales. They look good, but they have no muscle mass. That's important. And at least 2 to 3 times a week, you should do strength training, not just cardio. The other,
build the bone density.
Also. The other advice is that, I see it when I go to the gym, and it's in my book, by the way. You go on the elliptical, on your phone, or with a book, or watching TV, and you're not pushing yourself enough. You have to do high-intensity interval training, HIIT.
Yeah.
That is crucial for women once they get to a certain age.
They don't have to do it all at once, but they have to slowly get into that mode.
You have, which is the hit is that you go extremely high to your maximum heart rate that you can calculate for 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then you slow down for 2 or 3 minutes.
Almost like in sports, interval sprinting
Yes.
we used to do. Right.
That is really, it's going to boost and accelerate the burning of your fat. And it's going to continue for 24
This is proven.
hours.
And this is proven.
This is
empirically.
absolutely proven. Okay, but when you do your hit, you have to be at the point where you are red in the face, you cannot speak, you just want it to stop. And I have taught a lot of my clients how to do it, and 90% of them were not doing it right. Okay, so I said strength training, hit, and also, of course, diminish your portion.
Slowly diminish the
diminishes
amount,
your portions, and avoid sugar at all costs.
We have to start wrapping up, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
but one more question. What is the time to start this? Because sometimes, this is my opinion in general, when kids are growing up, the food here is not really helping. We discussed that already. But then there are the extremes here also, that they want everything super healthy, and then everything has to be organic, everything has to be whole wheat, everything has to be gluten-free, and then the kids get crazy that way. Anyhow, they are going to be overweight kids.
Yeah, because
when can they start, or they should just finish their growth and then look into that? Because they also have so tell me about that, because we see kids are overweight, but we see a teenager that looks fine, as you said, but maybe is eating wrongly. And then, so when is that she should start some sort of education like that without going crazy?
The sooner the better. I think it should start with the parents, with their kids. But on this program, I have had 18-year-old young ladies. But the people who come to this program are more people who have tried everything and has failed, and they know something has to change. When you're 18, you're very impatient. But the good news, you can lose weight quickly.
Right, exactly, right.
The only problem, you get older, it takes more time to rewire your brain, but it's feasible because, we did it in the clinical trial. I mean, the average weight loss was 12 pounds, and the maximum was 33. I've published this data. It's been presented at the American College of Nutrition, the American Society for Nutrition. So this is it was a very serious trial. So the methodology works. And one last word, also self-love. You have to help people to love themselves, because if you don't love yourself, it's really going to get into your way to transform, because you're starting from a negative point. And I'm trying to put everybody on positive starting block, and then jumpstart from there.
Well, now say to the camera, love your website, how they can reach you, and what else they can do.
Yes, the book where the book can be
so my
bought
program is called the Cognidiet. You can get the book on Amazon.com, so you can follow it, 12 chapters. I heard people are doing great with it. But you can also follow my program via my website, where you can be with me once a week, and we do all the chapters one after the other, and we're starting in January. And I have a second book that was just published at the end of December, which is a companion book, which goes with this one, where I offer 12 weeks times 7 days a week, 84 experiments to rewire your brain that have to do with nutrition, exercise, self-love, emotions, mindfulness, and Zen life, avoiding stress, and simplifying your life. So 7 themes, 7 days of the week. And my website is www.thecognidiet.com, and I have everything, the Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it.
I'm going to go on it. So contact her and start changing your life. We'll be right back.